Everybody sees SCHD yielding around 3% today and assumes that income isn't that impressive. But what most investors completely miss is that some long term SCHD investors are now effectively getting paid 10%, 15%, even 18% annually on their original investment. And once I compared that to high yield funds like JEPI and QQQI, I realized most people are thinking about dividend income completely backwards. We're going to compare some of these and we're going to look at how yield on cost actually works. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Simply Money. One of the biggest mistakes investors make is chasing the highest yield they can find today. They see 10%, 12%, 15% yields and assume those funds will automatically produce more retirement income long term than something like SCHD. But once you understand yield on cost, the entire conversation changes. Because while SCHD may only yield around 3% today, many long term investors are now generating double digit income returns on their original investment, some approaching 18%. And in this video, I want to show you exactly how that happens. We're going to compare SCHD with JEPI and QQQI and look at the difference between them. We're going to look at current yield, income growth, and long term yield on cost, because this one concept can completely change how you build a retirement portfolio. I had somebody on my last SCHD video, a particular viewer who had a lot of comments disparaging SCHD. Now, let me start by saying this is not financial advice. This is for informational and educational purposes only. I'm not telling you to buy SCHD or not to buy SCHD. I'm just trying to give you the data and the information for you to make your own informed decisions. Some people, SCHD may not be for you, and I get that. I always say personal finances are personal, but this individual was adamant that SCHD was garbage and that it didn't even keep up with inflation or barely kept up with inflation. And so I wanted to go a little deeper into what yield on cost was and how it works. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at JEPI. We're going to look at this and we're going to see how it has grown and what its yield on cost is. Not to say that one is better than the other, but just to be able to compare a couple different funds. What we're looking at here is the JEPI drip sheet. I have these available on my Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. If you like these, you're able to get those down there at that link. We're going to be looking at JEPI from April 30th, 2021. The share price was 59.27. JEPI pays on a monthly basis. We were able to get 844 shares. We're going to do a hypothetical if we invested $50,000. Now, what I want to look at over in this column L, you can see what the yield is each and every month. For this first payment here, you had a $59.57 share price, and it paid 37 cents. Your yield on that was 7.53%. I want you to come down here where we have right here 13.39% because our share price actually went down, but our dividend was actually higher. So that increased your distribution and your dividend much higher for that month. As we come down here, you can see one of the things you have to look at is as that share price is going up and down, the distribution, the dividend is going up and down. Again, you can see how it peaked up here at 13% and it's back down. The 8% got down to 6%. And then come down here, we're at 10.5%. And overall, for this time period from April of 2021 until now, it has averaged 8.5% yield, which is a nice yield. That's an average. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. What I want to look at over here is you have column D, E, and F, which are showing your full distributions, whether you drip it or if you are doing 50% drip or taking the income. And so what we did here was we're looking at what the yield on cost is. Now, your yield on cost is going to be higher with full drip because you're putting more money back into it. You're not using your own money. This is the distribution just reinvesting. So that drives your yield on cost up a lot more. What I want you to notice here is your yield on cost is actually lower than the average yield when you're taking the distributions. So if you took the distributions and lived on that, you're still getting a yield on cost of 8% over this time frame, which is still very nice. But if you were reinvesting it, your yield on cost would be at 11.78% for the past 12 months. And that's what we're basing this on, is the trailing 12 months distribution based on your original investment. I want you to keep these in mind as we're looking at this, the different yield on cost with taking the distribution or not taking the distribution. Now we want to look at QQQI. QQQI, we're going to be looking because it's a newer fund. We're only looking since February 2024. Obviously, the longer you hold it, the higher your yield on cost can grow. QQQI is not going to have the same data set, and it is not going to be comparing apples to apples, but I want you to see starting yield being higher and the impact that can have as well. And would like to see this after it's gone, 10 years, after it's been through some market cycles. What will the yield on cost do after you have a bull market and after a bear market, to see the difference? Because one thing you're going to see is the consistency with SCHD and the growth of that. Now with QQQI, because this is a short time frame and it's been a very bullish market, we see that these current yields, 14%, because you get the $50 share price, paid a 59-cent distribution. So we come down here, you can see on average it's paid 61 cents per share, and it's averaged 14.33% in the distribution. Now, again, this has been for 2 years, and you can see how consistent this has been. It's been right in the 14. A couple times it went up to 15%. We have one time it came down to just under 14%, and another time here, but it has been extremely consistent in this short window. And your yield on cost, if you're reinvesting, has increased. So now your yield on cost for the trailing 12 months is 19.5%. If you're taking half of the distribution, the 50-50, your yield on cost would be 17.29. And if you're taking the distribution, say you're retired and you're living on this, your yield on cost has actually still gone up to 15.29%. Again, this hasn't gone through some cycles, or if we look back at JEPI, for it to look just from February of 2024, the same time frame, you can see that it was very consistent. Then it went up, and then it came back down a little bit. Now, if we were to run JEPI from the same time frame of February 2024, and we come down, you can see that your yield on cost is actually a little closer, and it's higher even though you're taking the distribution, where the longer time frame, it caused the yield on cost to go down when you're taking the income. And that's something to be aware of with these covered calls and higher yielders, especially after they've gone through some pullbacks and some different markets, where JEPI from 2021 did have a little bit of that, and QQQI has not gone through that yet. So you can see how it caused this to go up above what the average distribution was. Just a little something to keep note of. But again, back at QQQI, you can see this wonderful increase. If I'm taking the income, I've actually seen my yield on cost go up a little bit. But this is starting at 14% yield, and your yield on cost got up to 19.5%. Again, only in that 2-year period. But now let's look at SCHD. This is where a lot of people get all bent out of shape. Now I'm going to start, and we'll go to some other dates for you to be able to compare it. We're starting from back in 2011 when SCHD was brought about. And you can see same thing, $50,000. The yield here, look at that, 2%, 3%, under 2%. We come down. It's been pretty low for a while there, and then it started going up over 3%, and it's averaged that as the price dropped. You see that yield go up, but it's been pretty consistent around the 3.5%. The average has been right at 3.19%. It has been very consistent as well. But I want you to look at this. If you have been reinvesting, if you bought into SCHD back in 2011, you've just been sitting on it, letting it grow, $50,000. First of all, look at this. It's grown to $274,000. and your yield on cost now is 18.6%. Say I go to retire, I'm getting this income, I'm getting paid 18% on my initial investment. Now, if I took half of the investment along the way and only reinvested half, I'd be getting a 15% yield on cost. And if I've been living, this is the good part. Look at this. If I've been living on this, let's say back in 2011, I was retired. I put $50,000 into SCHD. I was only getting what, 2% yield. Look back up here, 2% yield. But now I'm getting 12% yield on that same $50,000 because not only has it increased how much I'm getting paid, it's increased its portfolio balance. Everything about this fund is really, really strong for long term, slow and steady growth for those who are willing to take the boring path. If you're seeking that high octane, that quick fix, I need some income now and I need a ton of it, SCHD may not be for you. But look at this. Let's say back in 2011, I invest $50,000. I need a little bit of income, and this is part of my portfolio. So I put $50,000 position into SCHD. It's paying me about $263 a quarter. Again, this is a quarterly payer. Then here, the next quarter paid me 400, 400. Then I got 500, but then back to 380. But look at this over the time frame. It continues to grow. It's not only keeping up with inflation, it's surpassing inflation. I'd be getting almost $1,500, almost $1,600 a quarter for having that same money just sitting there. Each and every quarter, I'm getting a pay raise. I've five-folded my income and I'm getting this pay raise. Meanwhile, again, this is you have not touched your portfolio. Now you have $274,000 in there. You're getting the income increase, you're getting that pay raise, and you're growing your portfolio. This is a wonderful thing about SCHD. It's for long term income and income growth. People get confused on that and the power of this compounding. Now, I want to play fair here and look at what it would do if we had bought it in 2024. Now, if we change the date to compare it to like JEPI and QQQI in the same time frame, you can see that your yield on cost has not gone up a whole lot. And that's very normal because it's a short time frame, but over time it will grow. And that's the thing. The beauty of this is holding it, buying and holding. You're going to see your portfolio grow, you're going to see your income grow. And just to go back to the original data to show just the power of this, over 15 years, if I was retired, I would have been looking at a really healthy growth. Now, I want to show you something. And I've done this before, and I've done this a lot with all-in scenarios. I haven't done it with SCHD in quite a while, but we do the all-in scenario. What if I bought everything with SCHD? What if I took my income portion and I just bought SCHD and I let it ride? I want to show you this, and I don't want you getting freaked out because you're going to a $500,000 portfolio. But I would feel much safer. And I'm not saying to do this, and I would not do this, but I would feel much safer having all of my income producing in this one fund than any other fund. If I was to pick one fund, for me, this is the fund I would pick. It's not going to be the biggest grower. It's not going to be the biggest dividend, especially starting out, but it's going to be a hedge. It's going to be a safe and consistent and healthy ETF for me to grow and watch. Let's look at this. Let's just pretend I retired in 2012. If you add this up, I'd be getting about $16,000, give or take. Nothing amazing here, but it would be a nice supplement to my income, to Social Security or pension. But as you come down and you watch this, and there's two things I want you to see here. First, look at this. Now I'd be getting over $60,000 a year based on this because my income has grown so significantly. I don't know about you. I was around in 2012, and if I had $16,000 a year then, and I had $60,000 a year now, that my cost of living has not gone up that much. Inflation has not increased that much. Yes, it's increased. I'm not minimizing the impact of inflation, but inflation has not gone up that much. This has outpaced inflation tremendously, and My $500,000 portfolio is now worth $1.8 million. Not only am I collecting $60,000 a year, my portfolio has grown to $1.8 million. And I've been retired for 15 years in this scenario. So the power of SCHD, that's why I have it in my portfolio as a strong cornerstone position that I'm letting it grow. And I share my quarterly updates when SCHD pays, what my fund is actually doing and where I'm at. I think right now my yield on cost is almost 9%, somewhere 8.5%, because I got into it in 2017. Again, the earlier in it, the longer you hold it, the better your yield on cost will be. It will continue to rise. But I want you to notice right here, this is where people get confused with SCHD and these other funds. Think about 2022, and you look at the distribution here, it's still above what 2021 was, even though it was a down market, even though you see the price dropping from $26, $25 here down to $22, the income is continuing to go up. That is the wonderful thing about SCHD. Every year it has increased. Where if you look at JEPI, you have 39 cents. You're seeing that sometimes it goes up. And then look here, we got up to 40 cents, 48 cents, 54 cents. And then we're down here. The next few months, it's down even lower. So just something to be aware of as well is not only the income growing, but the dividends being more consistent and growing consistently. That's why SCHD is so popular. I hope you like this video. Leave me some comments down below. Tell me what you think about this video, about this yield on cost and different scenarios. What are your thoughts on that? Leave the comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Simply Money.